Hello everyone, thank you very much for watching today. Today we're going to go over, well first it's Tuesday, so thank you for watching. And I'm going to go over the next 5 things about how to win your buyers their offers. Win them in multiple offers and houses going in a day. Some tips on how to do that. So yesterday went over the top, or 5 things, not really top 5 things, but 5 things. So today I'm going to go over 5 things, and tomorrow the last 5 things. And these are my opinions and my thoughts, because I'm putting that disclaimer because everybody has their opinions on how to negotiate and help their buyers, and everybody you talk to will have different ideas on how to help you. So I'm going to go over this with you, the next 5 things to help you. So yesterday, again, it was prepping the client, understanding the market, sharing your sources, giving the client what they want, paying out of the box costs. And today we're going to talk about escalation clauses, big deposits and earnest money, the value of a home, and people worrying about overpaying, virtual showings, and offers without seeing. So first, number 5 technically, is escalation clauses. My opinion, and I'm seeing this, and I'm seeing a lot of escalation clauses, and I'm seeing listings now, listing agents saying no escalation clauses. My opinion, they're confusing the sellers. They're confusing the sellers of, you see an escalation clause up to $300,000, and you see an offer just at $300,000, they're just going to throw the $300,000 away. Also, my opinion, some sellers, some listing agents think that buyer may be, with the escalation clause, may be a risk because they're trying to nickel and dime the seller. Well, I will pay you $300,000 if someone else thinks your house is worth $299,000. But if someone thinks your house is worth $290,000, I'll pay you $291,000. Do you get that? Do you understand that mentality or the thought process of some sellers? They're analytical. It's like, you only think my house is worth this if you think someone else thinks it's worth that. And I've been on the phone with sellers. I've been on the phone with our agents. I've been on the phone with other agents, listing agents, and other offices telling me this, is that they don't want to see some of their clients don't want to see escalation clauses because it puts your buyer in a bad light. Like, I want to pay this, but only if someone else wants it more. So my escalation clauses, if you like them, but also just want to let you know, if you haven't been through this, we have buyers that are requesting them. That they're saying, hey, I have a friend, I have another agent friend, I have someone else that sold their house and had an escalation clause. I want an escalation clause. You can't talk me out of it. Of course, you got to do what your client wants, but you got to educate them and tell them the pros and cons to that, or what you feel too. But that's my opinion. That's what I tell our sellers, our buyers, to go your highest and best. Don't confuse the sellers. I want to pay this only if this and that and this and that. Those buyers, in my opinion, sometimes can be those people that when they have their inspection now, kind of nickel and dime them. Okay, fix this, fix that. I want to lower the price. I want to do this. And if the appraisal comes in low, you're already getting started on the wrong foot sometimes. 2, big deposits and earnest money. Your down payment matters. Sometimes agents put to be determined, put 3%, put 5%, but they might be putting more. When you have 2 offers that are identical price-wise, whoever's putting the more down payment on, and the person, that agent or buyer that has a more well-known lender, because the lender matters. I've seen listing agents and sellers picking an offer, the almost identical offer, because they know the lending company, they know the bank, they know it's local, they know they've had relationships with them, but it's some ABC company out of Las Vegas. They're like, I don't know that lending company. I don't know how reputable they are. I don't know how much work they do with their pre-approvals, things like that. So down payment matters. Earnest money matters. The typical $1,000 that we typically do, everybody's doing that. Imagine you put $5,000. Say it's a $300,000 house, and you're putting the buyers are putting $50,000 down. Just do easy numbers. $300,000 purchase price, $50,000 down. They can make it $10,000 earnest money. They can make it $20,000. They can put $30,000 earnest money. Of course, you got to explain the risks of earnest money and backing out of the transaction. But earnest money can make the difference. Like, this person's really serious. This same price, this one's putting $1,000 earnest money. This one's putting $20,000 earnest money. Just wow the sellers. Also, another option is earnest money can be paid to the seller. We normally don't do this to protect our buyer's money, but earnest money can be paid to the seller directly. Imagine you put in an offer in, calling the listing agent and go, hey, the first thing I want you to notice about this offer is that the day they accept this offer, my buyer is writing the seller a check for $10,000 earnest money, giving it right to the seller. The seller has identical offers. $1,000 earnest money, that's a note that will be redeemed with the title company or with the other agent, the buyer's agent's company. And this one was going to write a check for $10,000 to the seller directly as soon as everything is accepted. Could that weigh the seller? Like, they think they're getting money now. They're getting money now, and they see the dollar signs in their eyes, like, want this. And you could put your buyers in a different light. So all of these things that I'm talking about, please, and especially new agents or agents are not comfortable with this, talk to your broker, talk to your manager, talk to your team leader, talk to people with more experience to give you the pros, the cons, the upsides, the downsides, so you don't get yourself into doing this automatically and then all of a sudden something happens and with the offer. So I'm not going to go into legalities of things that could happen, but any Century 21 Homestar agent, definitely call me. I will walk you through that process. Number 4 or 8, technically 3 today, is the value of the home versus I don't want to worry about overpaying. So I tell buyers, unless you put in there that you're going to take the house no matter what the appraisal comes back at, if the listing agent and the seller is not saying you have to come up with the difference, that's happening a lot. So if the house you're going to buy, it's listed for $275 and you're buying it for $300, and if you don't have anything about the appraisal and the appraisal comes in at $275 and you put an offer for $300, you can renegotiate. Your lender is going to want to renegotiate. They're not going to approve you for your loan normally, the buyer, or they're going to want you to come up with the difference. So I always tell buyers, unless they put that in there, that they have the fallback of their lender doing the appraisal and seeing what their vision, that appraiser's value of the property is. So they have that, so they can't overpay. In my opinion, they can't overpay, because the appraisal is going to come back. If it's lower, then we're going to have to address it at that time. But to all the agents that are putting there, the appraisal comes in lower, that the buyer is going to pay the difference, you've got to check with that buyer's lender. Some listing agents are starting to get smarter with this, which is good. Some haven't. Some say the buyer's going to pay the difference, but then all of a sudden, I've seen this happen, the listing agent says, buyer will pay the difference. But they didn't write in there that they have to see a pre-approval letter from their lender to make sure the lender's okay with it. And the buyer didn't check with the lender, said, no, you can't pay extra for that because that will diminish all your funds and you have no money to make your payments. The lender is most important to that. So any listing agents watching this that are putting that in their contract, that, hey, the buyer agrees to pay the difference, you need to see a pre-approval letter. Buyer must get a pre-approval letter from their lender stating that how much lower can the appraisal be, and the buyer has the funds to do it, and they still pre-approve to get the loan, if that makes sense to you. Again, Century 21 Homestar agents, call me directly, happy to help you with that. 9, virtual showings. You can go, what I mean by that is that it's some of these houses are selling within a day, which again, I'm saying this a lot today. My opinion: why sell a house in a day? You don't even know if there's 10 more buyers that'll pay more than that. I don't understand not waiting. It's kind of like this. Someone wants to auction off something. Say someone has something, a piece of art. They say starting bid is $100,000. Someone says $100,000. Do they ever take the first bid? I don't understand it. Well, that's what I wanted. I'm like, yeah, you got what you wanted, but do you know that there's someone else out there that'll pay $200,000 for that piece of art? Why would you do that with a house? I don't understand that's happening, but so the whole point of that is that things are selling within a day. So virtual showings, what I mean by that is that your buyer and seller might not be able, or your buyer might not be able to drop everything. They're at work, they have kids stuff, they have family things going. One thing I'm going to do for you, Mr. Mrs. Buyer, I'm going to, as soon as the house comes to the market, I'm going there. I'm making the appointment as soon as possible. I'm going there. Be by your phones, be at lunch, wherever, see where they're at, and I'm going to do a virtual walkthrough with you, FaceTime, Zoom, whatever, and show you the house like you're there. What else can't you? What everything you else see, you could see. I will walk you through the whole eyes, like you're their eyes. Unless they want to touch something, smell something, or taste something, they could pretty much do 99% of what they would be doing virtually. And you could do it quicker, hopefully, if you have the time, and get into that house. And while you're in that house, before you even leave the driveway, get on your dot loop, write up the offer, and have it sent to the seller or the buyers. Have them sign it, fill it out, send it before you even leave the driveway. You could have an offer to that listing agent, that seller. You got to be quick. So prep your buyers that you can do virtual showings if you are willing to do them and you have time for them. And last today, offers without seeing. I'm seeing a lot of this happen. Buyers are putting offers without seeing the house. So have a conversation with your buyers, because sometimes they don't understand that they don't have to go see the house, that they see the pictures. They could do it virtually. You could put an offer in sight unseen on that. Now, there's different ways in how to write that up. It could be totally sight unseen and with an inspection. You can make it contingent on them seeing the house. So they're coming in town, or they have time Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. Say it's Thursday. So you tell them like they just want to come see the house and verify everything's in good condition. You can do that, but you never know what. There might be another offer sight unseen without that contingency of them seeing it. And without an inspection. I've seen that. It's crazy. I wouldn't recommend that to a buyer. Buying a house sight unseen, no inspection. But that's happening out there. So you got to let your buyers know that these things are happening out there, and how much do they want that house, how important it is for them. Because the normal way of, hey, house comes on the market today, okay, I have time Thursday night to go see it and view it, then put an offer on it with some going back and forth and counter offering, and then getting all these different inspections. That is not happening a lot anymore right now. So you got to prep them, because sometimes buyers think that that's normally the way it is all the time, because they bought a house 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, and that's how they did it. Or they're talking to their goofy brother-in-law that's an agent in Iowa or something, and that's how they still do it there. But here in our market, in certain cities, certain things are going in a day, and you got to do things a little bit differently if you're really that desperate of a buyer, or motivated. We won't say desperate. Sorry about that. I'll say motivated buyer. That how motivated are you, and how much do you want to win this house over someone else? So those are the 5 things for today. So tomorrow, my list is I'm gonna wait till tomorrow to tell you what the last 5 things, of the 15 different things that I want to give you tips on helping you win those offers. So remember, anybody, use me as a resource. Call, text me, email me anytime, and I will be happy to go over my opinion on your situation that you're in, because every buyer, every seller, every listing is a different situation, and listing agent, the buyer agent, the relationship there, how you handle things. You got to customize it for each offer, if that makes sense. And I'm happy to help you with that if I can. So have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow on Wednesday. Bye-bye.